I'm fixing to plunder, tear your ship asunder, and rob you of all of your loot. So if you like breathing, you best be a-leaving, 'cause anyone left, I'll shout!
Hey, that's a good one, Captain. You know, you should be a rock star.
Oh, stop it.
No, seriously. I mean, your voice, it's like a choir of angels.
Wait, you're making me blush. Stop. Okay, keep going.
Okay. Yeah, looks like we're live. We're gonna lower the music a bit. You know, we're gonna change to a different playlist actually, just so we can have some music going on while we stream. This happen? You guys are all doing good. Today's gonna be a bit like that other Destiny stream I had done. Why am I still getting notifications here? Up some stuff. I had to restart everything because my drivers broke, as listed in the live chat. But yeah, very, very inconvenient. You know, I think we'll go with the Going Commando soundtrack. Yeah. Let's get in this. Okay. Lower the desktop audio a bit. I don't know how it got that loud. I wonder if anyone could even hear what I was saying. All right. Kind of hot tonight. It's been getting a little warmer. But, all right. Transition. All right, so here we go. Let's just get into... Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't unmute the game. There we go. So, let's go to the last city first. Maybe we'll make some tonics while we search for a bit of Skolas. Like, let's just go passive look around for Skolas on the Ishtar Collective. There's 106 entries of Skolas alone. The Awoken fought the House of Wolves during the Reef Wars to stop them from rallying with the other houses during the Battle of the Twilight Gap. When the Queen's Harbingers destroyed Virix's? The KELL of the House of Wolves, and the other wolves rose to claim KELLship. After several battles, Skolas emerged victorious. So, I'm a big fan of Skolas. He's one of my favorite characters from Destiny 1. And, you know, even if he was just a nightmare in D2, he always, like, was something I was super excited about when he came back, even as a nightmare. So, when my theory about his return was correct, I got mega excited. You know what? You know what?
Sometimes I miss swashbuckling.
We'll play my video on it. I know I played it yesterday. Well, not... Was it yesterday? Today's Thursday. That was 2 days ago. We played it 2 days ago on stream. But I'll share it here just in case nobody's seen it. So... This is my Destiny2 Skolas Returns theory. I said this a month before it happened, and I don't think I haven't seen anyone else say it about anything. So, I don't know, it's interesting that nobody talked about it, and I was the only one that made a video about it. And now everyone's surprised that, because look at this, October 10th I made this video. Called it Skolas Returns. And, you know, it's cool that I made something that was like a prediction. So I've been thinking about this. We're on our way to the apothecary wing. But, you know, last night I was live doing a lore thing. You know, this live stream discussing the KELL of KELLS. I spent an hour and 30 minutes, and I spent a lot of time thinking about, you know, because it's KELL of KELLS, right? We're talking about KELL of KELLS this season a lot, and, you know, I can't help but think about Skolas. You know, it's been years since we last saw him, right? He died. We killed him in the Prison of Elders. And, you know, the Prison of Elders, it's destroyed. And if we look at the ingredients down here, right? Well, wait, not here. It's in the tonic capsule, right? I'm not even the first one to talk about this, but like, Tomb Flake, rare reagent used in the synthesis of enriching tonics, obtained through Tomb of Elders activity. So if Prison of Elders is coming back, I think we can assume that we're gonna see like new enemy types in that space, you know? It's probably Scorn. And a lot of what I was saying in the live stream, again, it was talking about how Skolas could come back as a Scorn. Scornlas? Scornlas? Skolas? I don't know. I think it's a good enough theory. But it's there's a lot to think about when we're talking about the KELL of KELLS and who could be the one that's coming back. And, you know, if... I'm sure a lot of people would follow Skolas if he came back. He would. And, you know, yeah, he died a long time ago. Obviously, the Awoken must have mopped up, you know, the prison after we killed him. But, again, paracausality, it's like, he's got to be somewhere, right? There has to be some kind of grave inside of the Prison of Elders. But I don't know. Tomb of Elders. We kill him in Prison of Elders. And I don't know, I think we might be seeing Skolas back. I think Skolas is coming back. You know, I said it in the live stream. And I don't know. I don't know when we'll be seeing this Tomb of Elders activity. I assume Act 2. Or Act 3, although, you know, I'm sure one of these activities they can't come out at the same time. I don't believe that they would. They could be leaving the exotic mission for the end of the season with Act 3, and then Tomb of Elders It's an activity, so it must be Act 2. But I don't know. Am I smoking the dark ether again, or could this be a thing? Could we actually be seeing the return of the OG KELL of KELLS? The guy that brought the Vex to its knees in the vault of glass and gathered wolves from all across time. You know? The guy that the 9 just let out for some reason, starting the wolf hunt in Destiny 1. So it's interesting. It's really interesting. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. And like the video, I guess. I don't know. Who cares? Bye. Yeah, so that was the video covering the idea of how Skolas would come back. But yeah, this week he did. He finally did come back. And it was exciting, it was cool. Like, when I saw that they were like, oh, it's looking for something or someone, I was like, yeah, I was right, I got it. I knew they were gonna do it. So, it was exciting to see all that happen. But it's like, it feels like that a lot of people for some reason didn't expect that, right? Because of how we kill him, how so publicly, and it's because it's so long ago. And it's like, remember, there's some people that have been dead for way longer, and they come back, you know. The Fallen seem to age at Elixni seem to age at a rate that's very different to us. So like, an Elixni that's hundreds, maybe thousands of years old, might decompose slower than a person, you know? I mean, the whole theme around Scorn is that they're just rotting, festering creatures, right? So, was it really that far-fetched to see that he'd come back? I mean, Tanix has come back how many times? When we meet him in Destiny 1, that's Tanix coming back, you know? They thought he was dead, and then he came back as that cyborg, you know? And then we kill him, and then he comes back again in Rise of Iron with the Siva Splicers, right? And then he comes back as the Nightmare, but that doesn't really count as a comeback because that's more of our memory of him than anything else. But then Tanix comes back again in Deepstone Crypt, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Tanix comes back again. You know, just don't get your hopes up, but also like, come on. Have you ever read a comic book? Do you see how much these guys come back to life in comic books, right? So like, if Destiny takes a lot of inspiration from different media, different genres, I don't think I don't think it's ridiculous, right? I actually think this is kind of a badass season because of it. Like, you know, like thematically, this season is mega badass. Like, the problem is that since people didn't see it coming, they kind of see it as like a, oh, whoa, that's random. But I don't know. Why else would Fickrell take interest in something like the Prison of Elders, if not to resurrect the specific Elixni, you know? But we also hear that in the cutscene that the Echo is the one that kind of like took Fikril there, you know? Technically, they could have brought back Skolas at any time in the past. How long has it been since Forsaken? Forsaken came out, what? 2018? 2019? I don't know. But, they could have done that any time. The thing is, it's that, they didn't have the firepower. You know, the Scorn have been unorganized for such a long time, and it wasn't until they were given orders by outside forces where they became organized. You know, the only reason they were so dangerous is because of Uldren in Forsaken, and then they just kind of fell to the wayside as different threats emerged. It wasn't until, like, what, Witch Queen, where they actually became relevant again, right? Because another disciple was taking control of them, you know? It was Rolf who took control of the Scorn. And now we have the Echo who's taking control of the Scorn, you know? And it seems like the Echo is some sort of Elixir voice, but I want to pose the idea that I don't think anybody has really talked about it, right? And it's like, yes, the Echo is a remnant that came from the Witness, you know? A melding of light and dark that contains memories and pieces of destroyed civilizations that were oppressed by the Witness and its forces. But how likely is it that these echoes might contain something more that are connected to the Nine? You know, they're formless, they're being given form by their wielders, right? Could they possibly be connected in some way to the Nine? Because the Nine, they want to become more real, more physical, you know? They want, they at least the good ones, they like the Guardians, you know? They like to have their thoughts be absorbed in some way. So, could the Echo be housing some kind of entity that's similar to the Nine? You know? It points to it being some kind of elixir, much how, like, the Echo from last season was seemingly a Kugu, because we started getting memories from the Kugu, and Maya, she started talking about the Kugu race and all the things they did. But let's see. I haven't read the lore books we get from... Excuse me. I haven't read the lore books that we get from completing this week's story, you know? I'll check it once we land, and we'll see where we go from there. So yeah, let's see. We'll place this on the shelf. Get eyed over things. Kind of wish they just...
I'll have to ask Spider for help after all.
Kind of wish they just give me more resources, you know? Okay, so we got some of that. Let me do that one, I guess. Let's see. Because was I reading Garden Way when I did that stream? I think I was reading Garden Way. Alright, collections. Excuse me. Alright. Da-da-da. Yeah, I read this on the stream. Look, I thought it was clear that, like, since Fickrell was talking about KELL of KELLS all season long, like, you know, at the beginning of the season, he's like, I'm the KELL of KELLS, right? And he's kind of like seeing his connection to Aldrin as, like, something that makes him worthy of it, right? Of that prophecy. And the AC is not doing good right now. It is mega hot. So let's see. What's to say over here in the new chapter? I don't know if I would have seen anything at all had I not been given the tonic. What did I see? I did not understand at first. A dark shape clawing its way into being, caught on the edge of reality and tearing itself apart in order to make its existence possible. It bellowed, and it felt the force of the sound, and I felt the force of the sound rattle through my shell. Something collided against my shoulder. Caraxes? I think it's Caraskes. Pushing me away. Irha, the tonics. I stumbled toward the supplies. Behind me I heard a whine and snap of arc energy. And I turned to see Caraxes drew a short rod from the lining of her cloak. In her hand, it drew apart into a thin spear, crackling with power, and this she threw into the dark heart of the thing that hung suspended in the rift. Also like fighting a monster here. I heard the squelch of impact, the air filled with the strange, unpleasant stink. Excuse me. Of bad ether and wet dirt. The creature rippled, clawed, and fell unhindered to the earth. The shape of it changed. I saw it rise upon 6 heavy limbs, its misshapen head had turned toward me. And then in the next instant, a flask burst against it, and hissing steam roiled against its flank. I saw the beast point its maw. I saw the beast's pointed maw part as it screamed. The Stone Eater, Caraxes cried. She pulled her sword from her belt and scraped something over the blade's surface. I saw light bloom where she had touched it, and then she was moving forward toward the monster. Wait, so pointed maw. Are they fighting an Ahamkara? Because they're saying it. The creature rippled, clawed, and fell unhindered to the earth. The shape of it changed, and I saw 6 limbs. Oh, so this thing... I think they're fighting an Ahamkara here. Into the dark heart of the thing. Huh. That's interesting. I opened the pack, but in my terror, I could not read the symbol on the bottles, nor think of what to do. I stared down at the rows of tonics I had so confidently described for Caraxes, only for an hour before only an hour before. And I thought of how much of a hatchling I really was. I had studied the work of the Slayers as if it were only a story, and had expected only a story. All I had wanted was an escape. Then I heard Caraxes yell. I thought of my time training, hoping I might become a healer in one of the great houses. I looked in the pack, and there it was, the vial of Stone Eater. I pulled it free and threw it as hard as I could toward the beast's head. My will outpaced my aim. The flask stuck to the monster's... Messing up the reading. Need some water. Okay, the flask struck the monster in the leg, and at once began to eat through its flesh. I saw it stumble briefly, only to shift its weight and turn. It made no sound of pain when struck, but now it sent another thundering bellow toward me, and with that rippling wave came a cold like nothing I have ever felt before. The air stung my throat and eyes. I threw my arms over my face and leapt away blindly toward the trees. When I looked back, I saw that the light had been snuffed from a broad line of the underground, leaving a sprawling emptiness in which I too might fall. I saw the monster rear up in preparation to charge. A flash, Caraxes' blade slicing deep into the monster's throat. I saw that great maw descend upon her. I heard her scream. The beast had snared her in its jaws, but she was levering. Levering? Is it levering or levering? Them apart with the two hands. The third held fast to her blade, in the thing's neck, and in the fourth, I caught the shine of glass. She thrust the flask deep into the creature's throat. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the creature shuddered, and I saw the shell of it, the bones, lit from within by a pale fire. One. Why is it saying one there? Its jaws crashed shut around Caraxes once, then parted to scream. I saw the Baron haul at the blade. Haul at the blade? What does that mean? Heard more terrible, wet screaming as the fire caught and spread. The beast writhed and fell. Caraxes fell with it. I think this must be Tenar. Tenar Wrath? Presumably the Wrath of the Light. Oh, okay. It's like a definition of... Yeah, okay, I forgot that at the end of these, you gotta pay attention to the numbers, because some of these have, like, definitions at the bottom. So, you wanna, like, pay attention, because, like, these are, like, notes that Ido leaves in the thing. I believe now we call it this darkness, which is not around here. You feel it, we cannot see the evil. Oh, I see. I wonder how relevant these will be. Alright, let's see. I haven't really run Prison of Elders or anything after I played this first part of the act, so... Let's see, let's read this. A KELL rising. Queen, so it is no lie? Is it Skolas? It is Skolas? Yes, my lady. A guardian got eyes. A guardian got eyes on him in the Ishtar sink. I used ghost telemetry to confirm. Same pelt, same awful voice. We drove him from the Winter's lair. How did he... And you would have me consider this a success? What of Winter itself? Your report is unclear. You are correct, my lady. I would not call our mission a success. Skolas managed to win over. Well, a number of Winter soldiers have taken up of the Wolf banner. He calls himself KELL of KELLS now. We found him once. We can do it again. I have a plan in place. As soon as the Guardian returns, then go, continue to hunt. Petra, you must not fail. I will not, my lady. Is this just... This is dialogue from... Yeah, this is dialogue, I'm pretty sure. Let me see, is there anything new? That's just the mission. Yeah, these are just the mission. Yeah, so why is it a big deal that he came back? Well, basically, Skolas is kind of like the Hitler of the Elixni, right? Now, that sounds kind of crazy, right? Because he calls himself like their savior and all that. But he is sort of like representative of like what he influenced the Fallen to do, you know? It was maybe the deadliest era of the Elixni inside the Sol system, where like this dude was invading everything, you know? Like, as KELL, Skolas employed brutal warfare tactics during the Reef Wars. Pilot servitors were typically used to man the flight of fallen ship, but Skolas used them to lead suicide attacks on the Awoken. He used the Silent Fang assassins to attack civilians. This led to Varric's House of Judgment to betray Skolas to the Queen, which led directly to his capture. In the aftermath of the Reef Wars, the Queen sent Skolas to the Nine as a gift to commemorate their mutual victory. For reasons unknown, they released Skolas and restored him to his catch. Look, I think, right, the Nine, they've always been like, sorry, I gotta turn off the music. The Nine, they could always see the future, you know? They showed the drift of the future with the emissary and the horse. Well, they didn't show him the future, but it's clear that the Nine are capable of seeing, like, premonitions of certain events that are gonna happen. You know, they knew about Lightfall and stuff. They knew about the calamitous awakening of darkness that was coming, and you know, some of them wanted to help us, some of them didn't. I think they didn't care, but you know, I think it's interesting how, like, yes, the Nine are separate entities, right? But they're kind of connected to the planets of our solar system. And let's see, how many worlds have we gotten back since the Witness took them, right? The only returning planets we got was Mars, right? And Titan. Io's not back. What else? Did any other planet come back? Let me see. Sunset Planets. Destiny 2. I continue to forget. So Io's gone. Mercury is still gone. And the the Leviathan's back. Now, we've only been presented with 2 echoes so far. And we've it's been returned to us only 2 of the 4 planets that are missing. You know, Io and Mars, Io and Mercury are still missing. And like, yes, much of the lore that we got from the Kugu guys and the whatever is in this one, I'm assuming it's an Elixir. We don't know exactly what they are doing, you know, what their motivation is, right? But it's clear that they have some sort of connection to the action that they're doing, right? And I feel like this might be an indication that the 9 might be involved with whatever is going on with these echoes. It's kind of hard to put the blame on specific members of the 9 because, like, other than the Emissary and Starhorse and Xur, they don't really have any names, right? But let me see. Like, apparently, we could be seeing the Jovians, right? We could be seeing them soon, right? And does it feel far-fetched to say that this could be connected to it? I mean, these episodes are supposed to, like, build foundations for the future of Destiny, right? And it's growing in multiple directions. So, if the echoes are connected to the 9, could they be also connected to the Jovians, right? And what exactly do they have to do with them, you know? I mean, the echoes, to my understanding, let me see. What are the Jovians exactly? The Jovians are a humanoid species that inhabit the Jovians, a collection of worlds beyond the reef. According to Xur, the Jovians were once human, but radically transformed to a greater extent than even the Awoken. The 9 themselves are implied to be responsible for this change. Additionally, Xur claims that while the Awoken had no choice in being changed, the Jovians did have a choice. He speaks of being made of cells within memories of the past and coming from dust. The light can cause him pain too. So, the Jovians were once human, right? They've been changed at a molecular level. And, you know, what have we been seeing for the past 2 seasons when it comes to species that have interacted with the Echo? They're changed. The Vex with the Compelled Collective, they're changed by the Echo. The Elixni, the Scorn, I mean, they're changed and they get sort of like, I guess, a will of their own because they haven't been acting on their own accord for so long, right? But now the Scorn are acting in interest of the Scorn, right? Much how the Vex are acting in interest of individuality, right? They're no longer as networked as they used to be. You know, each mind is its own being. So, if the Nine really did have a hand to play in the changing of the Jovians, then could they be involved with the Echoes? I mean, let's see. The Nine and the connection to their planets. Okay. Let me see. Antaeus wards. Okay. Dust. Let me see. Let's open the Antaeus wards. Oh wait, I could just open them in game. I don't need to look for that.
I don't want him to enlist.
So, exotic. Titan. Antaeus wards right here. So, let's see.
I don't have time to watch the news feed since I joined the fleet.
Do you believe in the Gaia forms, the energy within planets? Do you really believe there was no magic before the Traveler? Mother Earth? Anima Mundi? World Soul? The ancients had it right.
I'm just gonna sit down for a second.
They errand? They errand only in believing their first god would also be their last. These planets, moons, and asteroids upon which we live are these planets, moons, and asteroids upon which we leave our footprints. They have an energy of their own. Will, breath, soul. I call them Gaia forms. Though I admit the name suffers from terracentrism, one might instead say there is one Gaia form, and one Areo form, and one Mercurio form, and one Venus form, Venesi form, and so on. The greatest Gaia forms of our solar system are 8 in number, or if you prefer 9, but asteroids and minor planets have them too. And in their sidereal generosity, these Gaia forms will protect us, if we ask them. Perhaps you think this sounds mad, but isn't true. Then how do you know the Antaeus wards work? Okay. So this kind of backs the whole thing about each celestial being having its own soul, right? So like the 9 could be our planets, and I don't think this is confirmed, their actual connection to the planets, but let's see. Dust. Okay, the book Dust, 9 entries. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let's read the KELL. Is this about the KELL Echo?
She's the best pilot. Before the war, she was a school teacher.
Oh, look. Skolas is mentioned here. Wait, is the KELL Echo Skolas? Like some kind of projection of him? No, he doesn't look like Skolas at all. He looks more like an Archon. Yeah, that doesn't look like Skolas. Alright, let's read the KELL, because this one sounds relevant. Make the tab visible. The reef is punch drunk. Lavinia thinks that loss has driven the Awoken into a state of collective traumatic mania. Endless revels light up the purple sky. People leap off the world and drift away into artificial atmosphere to be collected, protesting woozily by skiff load. Lavinia is a wallflower here, forever on the edge of things. She gets pangs of homesickness every night, and tells herself that the reef is the right place to begin her journey home. This meeting right now might be the first step. Much mourning, the fallen at her side murmurs. Master Ives murdered Varix. Oh wait, hold on. This is Master Ives murdered. Varix missing. Spider hires away my friends. Well, I stay to guard Master Ives' work. You come in. Make yourself into a home. I will bring nitrogen tea and records. Nitrogen tea? Okay. Thank you. Lavinia wants to laugh, or maybe cry, at the malapropism? Malapropism. If only she could make herself into a home. But it'll be alright in the end. She will find the 9, bring the truth home, and earn forgiveness. The fallen returns with tea and devices. Watch. Record from Prison of Elders. Master Ives, fascinated by it. She sees Skolas, KELL of KELLS, KELL of fallen KELLS, wanting to die by combat. His huge, honed armor lags his motion, like a weary companion, trying to mimic everything he does. A servitor pumps ether into him. Lavinia wonders, what would happen if she took ether? Would she feel clearly and coldly determined? Would she turn into a huge Lavinia? Would she stop missing her home?
I don't have time to watch the news feeds.
Mara. Skolas' mouth was not made for that name. Mara, do you hear? The Queen of the Reef sentenced him to the fate of all fallen. Lavinia's companion sighs. To strive and struggle and fail. But he was already lost. His mind broke at the Citadel, where he saw into time. Skolas blows white vapor. Frost crackles on his mask. You gifted me to the 9, and they sent me back. People think you are a fool, that you made an error releasing me. Led your people to die on my blade, as I led my people to die on yours. Lavinia's translator murmurs along with the KELL's words. The 9's agent never told me why he released me. Now I know. You know also. I think both of you require the Guardians. And the 9 do not understand life and death. So they sent me back to you to make the Guardians come. Excuse me? Phrasing. They did not comprehend the harm. I do not comprehend them either. I have traveled among the Jovians for years in their dominion. But I do not know the 9. You, Marasov, you are the only one who bargains with them. You are the only one who has foreseen their role in the game. You keep your successes secret, so the world only knows your mistakes.
Passoid has to go through us if they want security.
No wonder I underestimated you. He hefts the scorched cannon his jailers had given him. Lavinia thinks of the tools his house once favored. Shuttle and loom. I saw the shape of the 9 on Venus, a place that was once precious to them, where wishes could transfigure their flesh. I saw that they are bound to this star and to these worlds. You are of a kind in that way. You and the 9, not I. I will be glad to leave this world, Mara. I am tired of being a pawn. Skolas lays his huge horned head back against the cell wall. Lavinia, watching, spills her tea in excitement. They want to help us, she whispers. Oh, they want to help us, she whispers. They're from our planets. They want to help. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so clumsy. She leans down to mop up the spilled tea. A flashbang grenade detonates in her face. The next thing she knows, an awoken officer is sentencing her, under martial law, to life in prison for espionage. Lavinia, fumbling for any sign of good luck, is glad to see the fallen go free. So wait, which was Lavinia? Is Lavinia an awoken? Lavinia. Lavinia Garcia Umar Tali. What? Lavinia was a cryptarch affiliated with the Last City until her exile for unauthorized attempts to study the 9. Lavinia continued her studies despite her exile, venturing into the reef for being arrested for violating awoken law. Eventually escaping, Lavinia managed to enter the group of the 9, spoilers, and learn the truth before being captured by Savathun the Witch Queen. Oh my god, we gotta keep reading this book then. Okay. This is crazy relevant though, the Skolas connection. So, let me see. The 9. Let's read about the 9. So, I think the 9 have more to do with this than we know, because the 9 want to understand life and death, right? And what's a species right now that currently represents life and death? The Guardians. They die and come back, but also the Scorn and are able to come back now. They're able to, the Elixni, they die, they live, and then they die and they live as dead, and then they come back as dead. They can continue coming back with Fikrul. So, if there's anyone to study right now, it would be Fikrul. Could the Echo be some form of them maybe finally gaining their physical connection to the outside world? To be made real? To be made alive? I think that's interesting enough. But, let's see. Let's read this one. This is from Dust, the 9. I am. 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 I. At first, this is all the loop of dust can calculate. It is the hardest thing in the universe for the dust to make a loop at all. Because, like a gust of wind or a river, it was only meant to move one way. For a mind to function, the end of one thought must alter the beginning of the next. So like rivers, like the wind, the nine could not have minds. Excuse me. The nine could not have minds until they could make loops. Lavinia Garcia, Umar Tawil comprehends the nine. They were already ancient when the first human beings named themselves. Their flesh was older than the stars. The dark dust wind that blows through the galaxy, pinched by the gravity of Sol and its planets, drawn into their cores and exhaled again. These were the nine. In time, loops did form. Great arcs of outbound dust collapsed back to their sources to create circuits of shadow. The thickening and thinning of these circuits were the first thoughts of the nine. They dwelt in massive indifference, unborn primordial gods. There was no force among them except gravity. No structure except the distribution of mass. Their hearts were in the cores of worlds, but their farthest streams faded out in the turn of the galaxy. They were the fountain Achilles, the night before chaos, but life arose on the worlds at the heart of the nine. Tiny, complicated motions of ecosystems and metabolisms, computations, that life left mass shadows in the wind of the nine, plucking at them like harp strings. From these trembles of structures, the nine learned to seed enormous resonating waves, thoughts vaster than worlds. So the nine awoke, and in time, they understood that they were as fragile as they were mighty. For if the life that seeded their thoughts ever passed away, they too would vanish. They had no eyes to catch light. They had no ears to hear. And yet they turned their wills upon the alien world of matter and strove to learn. For they knew they had to protect their hearts or die. With a horror revelation so absolute that it would drive her mad if she still had sanity to lose, Lavinia understands where the nine have always been. They are within everyone, every system, every living and moving thing. Trillions and pentillions of slim dark matter tentacles plunge through all our bodies, drinking up the complexity of our lives and thoughts. We are all pinched silhouettes, impaled on the twitchings of indefinitely long spider legs. This is interesting wording, because tentacles plunged, it kind of, you can relate it to some of the other species we've heard about. The Kugu being like these big Cthulhu octopus guys and being linked through consciousness. It could be that the nine could find their way to being alive without us if they were to harness some kind of a power and ability similar to that of like the science and the Kugu. It could be why they were drawn to the Vex network, which could build and construct bodies of who they could be, right? Maybe they thought that they could merge with the Vex, or perhaps they thought they could merge with the dead, with the Elixni. So it makes me wonder what could be a possible motivation for them going into heresy, because Heresy's got a lot to do with the Hive and stuff. Obviously, it's the Dreadnought. And perhaps maybe they're looking to find a way to be taken, in a way, because the Nine have a sort of connection to the Taken. This is all getting really interesting. Okay, so it looks like this is all we get of the connection to Skolas and Dust. But it is, I do think it's still relevant, because it could point to a motivation as to why they bring back Skolas. Because if I'm right, and the Nine are somehow influencing the Echoes, then this would already follow a second time where they brought back Skolas. You know, first getting him out from the prison that Mara put him in, and basically restarting old conflicts like the Reef Wars during House of Wolves. And now once again bringing back the same trauma and conflicts from that time as Scorn. You know, it's technically worse because it's like, when is he gonna stay down? You don't know if he's gonna stay down anymore. You know, and it makes it kind of crazy for what they could do. Let's see. Let's get into the game, because like maybe there'll be some dialogue that kind of expands on it. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, I'll just do Tomb of Elders normal. Let's see, what tonics do we got? Enriching tonics. You know what? Give me a cipher. I want one of those. Huh? Sure, give me this one. Didn't they have like a heavy weapon from this season? I guess this one, but I need something that gives me ether. This one. Let's see.
I can practically smell that place through the Guardian's data stream.
It seems everyone I speak to has been to the Prison of Elders.
The people you know intersect with a lot of bad blood. I'm sorry you're involved at all.
I wish we could demolish it. What good does it serve? Or represent?
You don't need a jail. Wonder what is gonna happen. Like, you know, I mean, that's the point of the whole stream, you know? Because, like, now it's like, oh, Skolas is back. He actually is back, and I was right. But, like, how... Like, what does this mean for the Scorn? Right? Do the Scorn now believe that they are... like... what the Elixir are meant to be? Right? I mean, I guess if they haven't seen, like, a better outcome from being dead other than Scorn. Alright, next one. What? I like how Fake Girl's kind of like Castlevania this place up. Dracula. Whoa.
All consuming.
What? What just happened there? Huh? It's kind of crazy how many enemies are in here. You know? Because you would have thought that some of them would have escaped by now. But I guess a lot of them
Kill them.
are still in
dead,
cryopods.
Guardian. You are judged, the victor. You work for me, and I help you.
Work for him. I wonder what the Dread think about this. Because last season it was mostly Shadow Legion with Dread Remnants. But this is Scorn with Dread Remnants. Now this is where we get Skolas.
A
Venus.
returning champion. Unprecedented.
I didn't know other Barons were coming back. I thought it was just the sniper one, the sharpshooter. What's his name? Piranha? Piranha? Hey, I mean, it cuts down production time. Also, thematically, it works. It makes sense. that thing go? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Lay into him.
Rifleman revived.
Oh, they work together?
A spectacle of blood for the benefit of the system's rightful rulers. Perhaps once I am KELL, I will return here and watch mine enemies devour one another.
Let's put a pin in that one for now, big guy. Hey, Guardian. Got multiple scans going and a cleanup crew locking things down behind you. Good work in there. We'll let you know what we find.
Mithrax is not calming down. I do not like. Do we really think that Mithrax is gonna live through this one? Wait. We all three using Kvostov? Oh, that's legendary Kvostov, I think. We're us two. We're using the exotic one. Whatever. But yeah. I'm assuming we'll face off against Skolas in the exotic mission when it comes out on Act 3. But, it's kind of crazy. I could not be bothered to go through this exotic mission so many times to get those memories. Maybe I'll do it sometime once I get refreshed on it, but like I can't do that right now. Can we fuse anything? Just one power? I guess we could do this. I'll protect her even from myself. Mithrax, Caliphouse Light. It's about Ido? Let's see, let's read that one. Maybe it's relevant to what we're talking about. The rigidity in his limbs was unnatural. His breathing was short, quickened, as his eyes searched the dark room. Any attempt to crane his neck was impossible. The paralysis had sunk deep into his bones. He sensed the presence. It was a subtle thing, barely noticeable. But Mithrax knew. He tried to speak, but his mandibles did not budge. The darkness in the room breathed. Mithrax strained his eyes to peer toward the edge of the blankets. To peer towards the edge of the blankets he'd been using as temporary bedding during the development of the Varices core? Varices core? Rays of moonlight from a nearby window allowed him to spot the gnarled fingers of a shadowed hand curl and rip into the fabric. A chill accompanied its agonizingly slow ascension up his body. Tendrils dancing wildly off its twitching figure. A chorus of whispers rose into a symphony. Chorus, whispers. We'll talk about this after. The entity lifted its head to reveal a ring of eyes. Pawn. It voiced echo within him. KELL of demise, of fear. Intrusive flashes took over his mind. Fire burning buildings, screaming Elixni. At first he thought this might have been Reese, a memory that was not his, but instead he recognized the familiar streets of the last city, his home. He looked down at his hands, coated in shadows and blood. We will make it their reality. Below him was a body torn and bloody with Ido's face. Panic flooded his being. Fear. A mouth grew on the creature's form, icy breath, and rows of sharp teeth dripping with black sludge. No! Mizrak shot up, suddenly, free, and blinked to reveal an empty room. The door swung open. Father? Ido was unharmed. Mizrax remained quiet, breathing unevenly, and gazed down at the blankets in time to see wisp of darkness emanating from a few tears in the fabric. That's interesting. That kind of connects to another video. And it's getting interesting, because like just today we're kind of like bridging some gaps into some other things. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I have notes about something I was thinking about the other day that I think would be really interesting. Let me see. No, not that one. Not that one. I talked about the echoes. Talked about the planets. Let me see. No, that's from a different video. Huh. I think we covered everything I meant to talk about. But like it's clear that the echo, it said it's looking for someone that's worthy of him. So let me see. Let's go to the cutscene. I have it from on the stream from yesterday. Let me see. All right. Yeah.
Memory of Reef Wars long ago.
Oh my god. This from last night's stream, so it might have some of my voice on it.
My Skolas, the Rapid. The song. A whirlwind must not recognize the singer. The echo. It is the echo that sings to us, Guardian. Sings of Reese through our memories. It seeks an old strength. Strength to guide the scattered through a time of doubt and wrath. But it sees now how Fikrul wields its power. False life for an army of the slain, with those like Skolas for his pawns. The echo seeks another wielder. It demands one who is worthy.
It doesn't want. So the Echo doesn't think that Fikrul is worthy. You know, he's not what it. Fikrul is not what the Echo wants. So it's looking for a better suited candidate to wield its power. You know, Skolas apparently fits that bill, but is Fikrul just gonna let that happen? I mean, maybe he still wants to be a KELL of KELLS. Maybe it won't allow. Maybe his own pride won't allow him to give it over. But at the same time, Skolas represents so much to the Elixni that maybe Fikrul might be one to desire that. Might be one to desire his leadership. I mean, it's clear that ever since Fikrul came back, he always wanted to be like the leader, the KELL, right? And he comes back and he says he's KELL of KELLS this season. So clearly, he's not looking for someone to replace him. But the Echo is. The Echo wants someone else. So it sought out Skolas in the Prison of Elders. They built their fortress there. And now they have this death trap that is the Prison of Elders. It's just it's getting kind of hard to see where this season might be going. And this is what makes it exciting for me. Like, you know, we don't know what's gonna happen, right? Like, I feel like it's always been like super predictable, right? And honestly, me guessing that, like, oh look, they're probably gonna bring back Skolas if we're going to Tomb of Elders. But I don't know, that's one of those like so crazy it's definitely what they're gonna do type of things. But are the Scorn gonna have their own internal power struggle? Are they going to are the Scorn gonna have some kind of struggle where they're gonna be like, hey, we're going back home, you know? I wouldn't be surprised if the whole thing is that they want to go back home now. Because, like, if the whole point is to have an army of the dead and a replacing of the Elixni as they are now, you know, a world ruled by the dead, as Varix explained, then maybe the whole point is to go back to Reese and, you know, resurrect it, you know? Like they might have the plan to just attempt to rebuild what they lost, but it'll only be a shell of his former self, a shell of what was. if it's ruled by the dead, if it's ruled by dead things, you know? I mean, if there's any place to source scorn, to source Elixni, there's a whole planet of them. I mean, I guess they'd be decomposed by now because it's been thousands of years. I mean, the long drift alone was such a long time. But I mean, like, if this is a video game, this is Destiny. They can get as crazy, as wacky as they want, right? So, is the idea that the Scorn are gonna go to Reese and bring an army of dead? You know, unless they still desire to be with the Traveler. I mean, solar systems where everything is going on, right? But it's interesting. It's really interesting. Um, hmm. Power 3. No, I think I'm gonna end it there. I think we talked a lot about this. I think I got some ideas for what I want to do for the video now. I might edit in some clips from this stream, but for now, this seems like it's been a pretty good progress on the idea making. But yeah, we'll talk more about this soon. I just kind of gotta gather my thoughts, cause like this season, it's getting crazy. All right, this is getting crazy. But it's we're getting to a point in the season where anything could happen, right? Um, what's their plan, right? I think that voice within the Echo could be someone either like Chelchis. It could be like look at the. Do we know what that thing in the raid was? Herald of Finality. So it could be Chelchis. Uh, you know, let's see. I'm gonna read this Reddit comment. I don't think the Herald looks that much like Tanix. Okay, that's just something I did. That it has the shining red skin like Nezarek did. Nezarek was essentially just a part of his head and a sarcophagus. He just left him with his pyramid. That was just the Herald was originally a remnant of something. TBH, I wouldn't be surprised if the Herald was Chelchis. Oh look, what I was saying. Little remained of him after being taken by Oryx. Is unnamed and twisted as the witness. Wouldn't want to spoil and perfect anything that once served the Traveler. I don't know about that. Popular joke among the community is that the Herald is actually taken Tanix. Yeah. Interesting. Such a unique design. And it could be that the Herald of Finality could be like there was a big explosion there, right? And technically, these heralds and stuff, they're like a part of the witness, right? So would it make sense if, like, what? Huh? I think it kind of makes sense if, maybe one of the echoes could have housed any of the things that we were fighting in the raid. I mean, this was the only boss we had outside of, the Witness, right? So, if the darkness is connected by the mind, then maybe since Taken don't really have a will of their own, even if it's a looking like a partially Taken super fallen like this one, it still would have reason to believe that it still has like a connection to the Witness. So perhaps this is the fallen that resides within the Echo? One that was so strong it still kept its form and shape after so many years, and now after the raid they blow up and become an Echo with the Witness. Could be Irha. Could be Chelchis. Could be that, what's her name? The hunter in the book. The Slayer Baron. I mean... Caraxes. Caraxes. This could be Caraxes. Because it does sound like you were fighting an Ahamkara. Either way, this is like getting... I think we're just going to end it there. And I'll compile my thoughts for a video. So, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Have a great night. Buenas noches. And see you in the next one. Bye.